Today we're going to talk a little bit about developmental delays and the visual system. So if your child has special needs, it's important to know that there's a higher rate of vision problems than in the general population. So there's a higher rate of having a high prescription, an eye turn, or a lazy eye. And those are all problems to try to identify as early as possible because they can have a big impact on overall development. For example, if we can't see clearly, then we're not as motivated to explore our environment. So there's not that initial motivation to say, hey, that thing over there looks interesting. I'm going to crawl over and see what it is, or walk over and see what it is. And so our motor system doesn't get as much practice and then doesn't develop as well. Likewise, if we have a problem with how our eyes work together as a team, whether that be an eye that turns in, an eye that turns out, or one eye that has a high prescription, that affects our depth perception. And that becomes problematic because sometimes it can cause us to appear clumsy. We might bump into things more than someone else would, or we might have trouble reaching out and grasping things, kind of figure out where they are. So that can have a negative impact on the motor system as well. So it's important to identify those problems as early as possible because treating them is going to improve overall development and improve our other therapies. And we often get asked by parents who have nonverbal children how we can do an eye exam on them. And we actually have a lot of great tools to evaluate vision in kids that are nonverbal. So we have matching tools we can use. We have what are called preferential looking techniques we can use. We have a lot of methods of objective testing that can help us figure out what the prescription is. It's also important to know that there are a higher rate of vision processing problems in this population as well. So delays in vision processing often accompany other developmental delays. And vision processing skills are essentially being able to make sense or interpret what we see. So can we look at something and figure out if it's the same or different than something else? Can I look at an array of toys on my floor and figure out where the one that I want is? Or can I look at something, remember what it is? Can I look at something and try to draw a picture of it? And those are all important skills that we need for classroom success, and they're important for navigating our environment as well and kind of figuring out where we are in space and where other things are in space. So if your child has special needs, it's important to get them evaluated by a developmental optometrist so we can determine what problems are present and how we can treat them to improve overall development.